go. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Gosh, it's hard to believe, Andy. The J and A show. We're gonna just talk through it. We're not gonna sing it, but it's hard to believe we're hitting the last month of 2022. A lot is going on in our world. You know, it's not an easy transaction. It's not put a paper sign in your yard and sell your house, but things are leaning towards I think some stabilization, some normalization, whatever the frick that means. But pulling you in as an expert that is actually in the trenches, working the data, and firing off deals. I mean, what do you foresee as our fortune teller, for maybe December and beyond?
Well, I do need to get my crystal ball out.
Well, can't we just shine your head up or my head up or one
All
of the
right,
two or what?
dude. So I will agree with you. I mean, this year is, in my humble opinion, this year has absolutely flown by. I mean, you and I have been working together on quite a few different things this year,
Yeah.
and these 12 months have been fast, in my opinion. So,
Yeah, if I can call it something, I'd be like happy, sad, mad, glad. You're happy, and then you hit around June, you start getting sad, and then you got mad. And I think now we're finally glad it's fucking coming to an end.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's go here, right? So what we saw this last week. Last week was Thanksgiving. For those of you, I don't know when this is going to go out, but last week was Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Typically during Thanksgiving, we see a decrease because, again, I'm running the ISA side of it. We're on a daily minimum of like 60,000 dials every day, right? So usually that week of Thanksgiving is going to end up dropping off in terms of appointments and leads.
Right.
Whatever it's worth, dude, we saw a huge surge in appointments last week.
Really?
So we're normally averaging like 2 appointments per person who's doing like part-time dial campaigns. And we saw an uptick in quite a few different markets last week for appointments. And we only dialed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We didn't dial Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Right.
So it's sort of weird to see that. But if you look at some of the other things that were actually going on, mortgage rates started to tick down a little bit.
Yep.
Right. Everything
conventional loan raised their limit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now you have all of these so-called experts that are coming out and saying, well, end of Q1, it's going to settle down somewhere near like 5.5, maybe high fives, maybe low fives. And I think that's starting to cause a big stir, and that's starting to then, entice some of these sellers to come out of the woodwork. And you're going to see some of the more motivated sellers during the month of December start to step up and be like, hey, I want to make an appointment for January.
Right. I'm raising my hand early versus just sitting on my hands a little bit more. And there's a lot that are coming to this. A couple of things that I've learned, not to cut you off, Andy, but a couple of things that I've learned recently too is like, and it's kind of a touchy subject, but like the notice of default, like around 8 million homeowners now are late on their mortgage payment. And that's going to be an elephant in the room as we start, normalizing. And I think it's, the news and the media always portrays it as like the 200% uptick. Well, yeah, because we didn't have any notice of defaults for the last 2 years.
Yep.
So there's going to be more opportunity 100%. To be creative, and I think that's kind of fits the need of what we're offering. And so our clients, the ones that are having the most success, are the ones that can do it all, right? They can put a retail sign in the yard as a for sale transaction. They can fix and flip. They can invest it. They can do whatever they want, and I think it's becoming more of a customizable, industry.
It has to be
just a cookie cutter sign in the yard, sell the property and go.
It has to be, man. So that's one of the things that we are talking about inside of the coaching program as well, is that you cannot be the traditional realtor to throw just a sign in the yard and hope for the best at this point. It needs to be something where people are pulling data from you guys and doing circle prospecting at a high level for every listing. When you go into the listing, you do have the fix and flips, you have the sell and the stays, you have some of the bridge loan options, or you have cash offer options. Like those have to be part of what the real estate agent's role is as they're meeting with more of these sellers. 100% accurate though. Those pre-foreclosures, notice of defaults, some of the bad credit stuff as well. Some of the distressed data is huge right now, especially to get ahead of the curve for Q1.
Well, it's funny. So we've now opened up a couple of new data sources within those types of categories. So at the first of the year, you'll see the share group rename our distressed as a pre foreclosure file.
Mhm.
And then we've now revamped our bad credit. Now, the term bad credit, I think, scares people away just in general. So that will be our distressed tier 2 or
Mhm.
an updated distress. But it's now we're taking data from occupation. So the hospitality industry the last 2 years have been horrible for these people. And so we know like what their occupation is and we know their income history. And so we know that that they've been struggling in the career route,
Mhm.
hanging on by a thread. And so we have reclassified some of the data intelligence we have to create like a pre foreclosure and then
I love
now a
it.
new distress, as things have changed.
Yeah, I think too. Some of the things that this what you and I will most likely see, and this is what I'm gonna sort of give like the red flag, the warning sign for the agents as they're listening to this, and
Yeah.
even on the insurance side. So if it's insurance or loan officers who are pulling data or real estate agents who are pulling data, this is not the time to pull back.
Right.
This is the time to take advantage while everybody else is sleeping, everybody else is resting.
Right.
We're already there, dude. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago where everyone is inside of that holiday mode and it's only going to get worse
Right.
as we get closer. So now is the time to take advantage, get the data from you guys, start
Yeah.
making those outreaches, start delivering some CMAs, start doing some of the direct mail stuff, and do your 2023 plan now instead of waiting.
Waiting. And we talk about it internally with the team, the sales guys, like what we're doing now is what's gonna, pave the way and pay
Yeah.
the bills, the start of the new year. And I think that's super important to realize. And a lot of what we do is as simple as motivating our customers, our client base to perform or
Mhm.
actually just work through the data. But if you do, you will have successes because of what we just talked about early on and what the market is predicting. And there's agents out there that are not pricing the properties correctly, that are representing the sellers and buyers in these cases. So you really need to rely on who the expert is, and because it's changing almost daily. So relying on someone like Andy or a company like the Share Group and knowing the different data that's coming down the pike. Here, as we transition and kind of wrap up of, let's get to work in December. One thing that is kind of that comes up a lot that we're hearing is, might have a property that you're holding on to that you're looking for someone that's a cash buyer per se. We do have segments of cash buyer lists. When we built our company in 2017, the average day on market was 90 days, and so we were constantly revamping and coming up with different cash buyer lists, and so those are relevant again today. So if you're an agent out there that is looking to push a specific property in your market, we can definitely help with some cash buyers. So that's a kind of like the term of the week that we're hearing, that'll come up and in conversation.
Yeah, I love that, Patrick. You're always sitting there trying to innovate different ways to stir up some business. I love it.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of what's the real estate. I mean, the secret is like, I mean, the real estate market's super influenced by, what's going on today, and so
Mhm.
if you're not changing with what's going on or trying to revamp the different data sets and segments for success, then you're going to get passed up. So
Yeah.
as slow as I am, I was joking with my kids yesterday. We were watching the U.S. Now I'm going to pronounce it wrong because Iran or Iran or whatever, and I was like, I ran once. And my kids like, and they're like, really? I'm
Only
like, that
once.
was it, just once, and it was the cops were chasing me. But other than that, no. But but no, Andy, it's always a pleasure, man, to rap with you, dude. In time of thanks and reflection, definitely thankful for you and our relationship. So much love here. We're just spitting knowledge every 2 weeks. If you have something that is of interest that we can talk about, I know we're getting views out there, so don't be afraid to write a comment and see which head is shinier. I think it's probably mine today.
That is definitely yours today. Today,
Yeah,
though. Today.
it's the lighting, dude.
It's the
All
switch of
right.
the location.
Yeah, it's the location change in the basement. But Andy, love you, brother. Always a pleasure.
Sir,
Yeah, let's keep this shit up and rock and roll, baby.
as always.
You